Good evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Arsenal YouTube channel. Welcome back to your daily Arsenal newsroom. I hope you're well. It's a Thursday. Arsenal won last night and things are just feeling good at the moment. Lots of you here, which we love to see. Before we get into it, if I could ask you to subscribe. We are now on the way to 25,000 subscribers. We hit 24,000, which is incredible. If you could like the stream early doors as well, and if you're watching on the replay, if you could do the hype thing in the comments, that would be sensational. It is not the Goon Room. Fizzy, Ben, Vivi, Vlad, Hyper Protagonist, Oslo, Gunas, Unity, Paul, Curtis, Jacob, Josh, Philip, good to see you. Nid's here as well. Is it just me or the camera quality looks better today for some reason? I don't think so. I haven't changed the camera. Yeah, we'll get into the Gabriel update. We'll talk about last night's game, talk about the West Ham game that's coming up. Everyone like and subscribe. Exactly. Thank you very much. Kingstonian, good to see you. D. No, I didn't mean to click that one. Not welcome to the Goon Room. Rory looking crisp. I don't know what's changed, unless there's been an update on YouTube or something. But no, it's the same. It is the same camera as normal. We'll kick things off with the Gabriel injury update instead of making you wait. Arteta last night said, I think he's going to be okay. He felt something. I think it was a kick in the first half. He could carry on, but we decided not to take any risks because he's played a lot of games. He's coming from a long-term injury, and we need to look after him. So I think a fair few people assumed, I mean, there were a few things I thought it could have been. There was an incident just before he went off where David Raya claimed the high ball and landed on top of him. Thought it could have been that. Then I think he made a block. I think I'm right in thinking he made a sort of long barrier from cricket and blocked it. And then he goes off. But then Arteta thinks it was to do with a kick in the first half. Either way, doesn't sound like it's any sort of significant injury. I guess the question will be, do you play him against West Ham? Stefan, thank you very, very much for the gifted membership. If you have just been gifted by Stefan, please do make sure to thank him in the chat. Stefan, just an absolute legend. Absolute legend. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, so the question is, do you play Gabriel against West Ham? Now, I think the fact that we saw Mosquera come on when he did says it all. Like, there is complete faith in our squad at the moment and the depth that we've got. Arteta said he could have carried on, right? And last season, he probably would have carried on. But there was no need to. Bring on Mosquera and cover him. So, is Gabriel injured? Well, he's not injured, right? He felt something. And that's what, by the way, the players this season have literally been told, if you feel anything, come off. Or if it's before a game, if you feel anything, flag it. Don't play. And that is really good. And that is going to benefit us long term. It's going to avoid longer injuries. Because last season, like, Gabriel had hamstring issues last season that he played through. I don't know if you remember, like, Christmas time last year. Gabriel had like a hamstring strain, like a minor one, and then he came back quite quickly. If you can avoid playing at those points, it saves you. Fernando C, thank you very, very much for becoming a new member of the channel. I really appreciate that support. Thank you very much. As always, all of the memberships, it goes back into the channel. It helps me keep doing this, so I do appreciate that, Fernando. I hope you're doing well. Hincapié back when? We don't know exactly, but I think after the international break. I think. Channel reach lessened by your inconsistency. Hashtag sack Rory. It's okay. It's okay. It was my fault. No, to be fair, I also think, like, when it's not the transfer window and there's not much news to talk about, I understand people not tuning in. That's not true because Saliba played. What's not true, Tony? Saliba played with his ankle thing, but then, well, he didn't. Mosquera started at Newcastle and then he came on. I guess they just felt like Saliba couldn't do 90 minutes, maybe. Headed to the game this weekend? Yes, although I forgot to enter the ballot. And these days, if you don't enter the ballot, you're not allowed to use the ticket exchange. So currently, I am trying to find a way of getting a ticket because I don't have one. And I can't use the ticket exchange. But I will find a way. I will find a way. If they have a... Okay, yeah. In the warm-up to the Liverpool game. I will say, Anfield away, when at that point, bear in mind, Mosquera hadn't played, right? At that point, Mosquera. So, yeah, no, you raise a fair point, but I think that was probably Anfield away. They're looking at it going, okay, are we going to throw Mosquera in at the deepest of deep ends? So, yeah, but no, you raise a fair point. You jinxed Alisson in your last stream. He's injured now. What was the jinx? What did I say? He is injured, though, yeah. Which is bad for them. He's been one of their best players this season. He's bailed them out a lot this season. So, yeah, is there somewhere we can meet you pre-match? I'm coming in from the USA. Big fan of the content. Like, not really. It's a difficult one because I've had that sort of message before where people want to meet before the game, but it's like I don't want to. Like if you see me, come up to me 100%. I love talking to people. But it's difficult to set a meeting point, if that makes sense. Especially because a lot of the time, I'm making content before the game, so then I kind of just rock up for the game itself. Like I don't spend that much time at the ground beforehand. There's risk assessments, yeah, 100%. The question I guess would be with Gabriel because like. Realistically, I don't know exactly what it is with Gabriel. You've got to bear in mind, we only played away at Newcastle 72 hours before last night's game, and that's an incredibly intense game. So it could have just been a little bit of tightness. But if you don't play him against West Ham, you can pull him out of the international break. Because I'm fairly sure, let me just double check, but I'm fairly sure Brazil don't even have a competitive game in this international break. Haven't their World Cup qualifiers already finished? Yeah, so Brazil's international break is literally 2 friendlies against South Korea and Japan, which are in South Korea and Japan. So he's basically, instead of him going and playing 2 friendlies in South Korea and Japan, you could keep him. And you could play Mosquera against West Ham, you know? I don't want to take those games too unseriously, but you would back Mosquera to be okay. Liverpool fans are confident with Mamardashvili replacement for Alisson. What do you think of him? I didn't really see much of him before they signed him. I saw him, it was at the Euros, wasn't it? It was at the Euros that he looked really good. And then they signed him. And yeah, I've not really seen much of him, to be honest. I can't even think, like, did he make a mistake during preseason for them? I feel like he made a mistake during preseason for them, maybe. Or maybe he made a mistake last season before he... I can't remember. I remember him making a mistake that I was like, oh, not sure he's better than Alisson. But other than that, yeah. I don't know. We'll wait and see. I guess we're going to figure it out. He's going to play against Chelsea. So we're going to find out. West Ham at home. We've lost, though. Yeah, I would say there's a lot of excitement about the fixtures that we're about to head into, right? Opta released a thing yesterday that the next 5 games, Arsenal have the easiest set of 5 games out of everyone in the Premier League, right? In their difficulty rating thing. And Liverpool have the second hardest set of 5 games. And that's natural because the opening 5 games, we had the second hardest. If they'd done the opening 6 games, we probably had the hardest because that would have then thrown in Newcastle away. But I don't want to get ahead of myself on that because that's based on Opta's rating of, okay, Fulham away, X amount of teams get X amount of points. So therefore, this is the like rating of how difficult it is. These are teams that Arsenal have slipped up on before. West Ham, we've slipped up. How many times? West Ham have beaten us twice in the last 2 years or 3 years. They beat us in the Cup and they beat us in the league. Fulham, what did we take off Fulham last year? 2 points? 1 point? And Palace are unbeaten at the moment. Now, Palace, weirdly, we've done all right against. But they are currently 17 games unbeaten. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of excitement. This is the point for me where we show whether or not we've actually turned a corner this season. Because we've always been good in the difficult games. All right, St. James's Park has been horrible for us, and we won there, and that was really good. But we've always been good against City, against Liverpool, or for the last 3 years we have. So, yeah, the big thing for me is, can you get through the easier games where the team's set up in a way that we find difficult and get through them with wins. And hopefully we do. TSTV, thank you very, very much for the $4.99. Hey, Rory, been a fan for 2 years now to this day. Love the content. Would you go full strength versus West Ham? Feel like Gyökeres needs a rest now. I'd go full strength. You've got an international break. Yeah, for me, I think it's a difficult one with Gyökeres because you're right. He is playing a lot of minutes. He's doing a lot of running. There's no obvious solution though, because by the way, if Gyökeres got benched or rested, as it would be, I think it would be Mikel Merino that played up top, and I don't think people would be happy with that. So yeah, I would go full strength. Timber comes back in, Calafiori comes back in. Obviously, the Gabriel thing, we'll wait and see. I really want to see Zubimendi, Rice, Ødegaard, Saka, Eze, Gyökeres. That for me right now is our best front six. So that is something that I would like to see. Let's just do it. Let's just go and blitz West Ham at home and go into the international break. That's what I want to do. I would imagine they are going to play in a pretty disgusting way if you know Nuno. And they've had the full week to prepare for it. So Swedish manager's under massive pressure as well. He's defo playing both games in the international break. Yeah, no, he will play both of the games in the international break. I would say, though, for Sweden, he doesn't have to do as much running as he does for Arsenal. There aren't many clubs or international teams where you have to do, as a striker, the work that you have to do at Arsenal. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. What do you think about Eze, Ødegaard, and Rice in midfield in easy games? I wouldn't mind it. I think it can work. Yeah, I do think it can work. Against West Ham, I mean, you could try it against West Ham. It is one of the easier games, and you're at home. But I really like Zubimendi. I really think he's been good for us. So yeah, I'd probably just go Zubimendi, Rice, Ødegaard. But then the way that Eze plays off the left, let him free roam. Let him and this is the thing. When you play Zubimendi and Rice, you've got that solidity defensively. You've got in Zubimendi the guy that can play out from the back in either direction. Let Ødegaard and Eze kind of just do whatever they want. Like, you know, the freedom. I mean, we saw it with Ødegaard yesterday. He's all over the pitch. If you watched the match reaction video that I put up last night, he's picking up the ball in areas that are so much better for him to play it through to Gyökeres or whoever, because he can, with a left foot, the way it naturally curls, it curls centrally rather than from the right-hand side when he does it, it curls away from goal. And the same with Eze. Just let him go. Are you a silver member yet? No, I'm not a silver member. I don't even know how you become a silver member, to be honest. But I'm a red member. Not concerned about Gyökeres physically. He'll be fine. Man's a tank. Yeah, 100%. 100%. The way he was bodying those defenders, like for the first goal, that run through, the body check, that's what we want to see from him. If you leave any space in behind, and I said it in the summer, right? When we signed him, I can't remember what video it was, but I made a video. I think I made a video about Zubimendi, Ødegaard, Gyökeres, and how it would work in terms of the speed that you could play through the lines. And in that, I used examples where, like, Ødegaard will find space in behind where there isn't space in behind. Like, you might think you're against a low block, Ødegaard will find space in behind it, and Gyökeres will get on the end of it. So, yeah, I'm excited. Can you address the fact that not every defensive system is Haramble? Yeah, not every defensive system is Haramble. And people get confused about what we actually struggle against. The most horrible low blocks we normally end up beating, because the most horrible low blocks, we will create enough opportunities, we'll swing the ball into the box enough times, we'll win enough corners that we will score, and we probably won't concede. It's the mid blocks that are the things that we struggle, because we actually struggle to get beyond them to even get the ball into the box. That's why we struggle against Fulham. That's why we've struggled in the past against Villa, against Newcastle. But Eze and Ødegaard between them are a big, big key to unlocking those mid-blocks. Eze can take it through a mid-block, but he can also play balls over a mid-block, which we've seen. So yeah, it's exciting. I genuinely do think we now have the keys to unlock pretty much anyone. And so then it comes down to keeping teams out. And, you know, we're 9 games in, and we've conceded 1 goal from open play. And that was Erling Haaland, who I think has scored in 8 games in a row. So, you know, we're doing well defensively. Like and hype the stream. Yes, please. Yes, please. True, we never struggle against relegation fodder. Yeah, not really. Not really. Is Dalman better than Waneri already? I think they play in 2 different. I think they play in 2 different positions at this point. I think genuinely they've decided that Waneri is going to be a central player. That's where he's going to develop. And Dalman at the moment is playing off the right-hand side, which is more to do with protecting him physically. I still think Dalman will end up being in the midfield as well. But yeah, I've seen some weird discourse around Waneri. You know, yesterday people complaining that he didn't get any minutes again. Obviously, he was left out of the squad against Newcastle, but it's kind of like, well, what do you actually want? Like, you know, people complain if Eze doesn't get minutes in midfield, but for Eze to get minutes in midfield, he's directly competing with Waneri for those minutes. And then you've got Ødegaard coming back. It's difficult. Like, it just, you know, it's the same with Miles Lewis-Skelly. He's not had many minutes. He looked excellent yesterday. He looked absolutely excellent yesterday. He'll be on the bench again against West Ham because that's just the level of competition that we've got. And so, yeah, I think it's a tricky one. It's like people want to find a problem. It's like there's this weird thing online where people want to pit players against each other. You know, I've seen things of, oh, Waneri must hate Max Dalman because Dalman's coming in and he's younger. Oh, Ødegaard must hate Waneri and Ødegaard must hate Eze and who's better. And it's like, it's weird. It's weird. I don't know if that's the real league gunner or someone pretending to be league gunner. You're not banned. Why is league gunner said he's banned? Everyone can see you in the chat. I don't even know if it's the real one. Yesterday we had someone pretending to be Seb on football in the chat as well. So I don't know if that's the real one. Are you going to the West Ham game? I will be at the West Ham game. Yeah. It isn't the real one. No. Okay. There you go. Who do you think has the edge in winning the Prem? Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City? I think it's a difficult one. I think this season we're going to find out. You know that phrase, the saying, attack wins you games, defense wins you titles. I think we're going to find out this year. If defense wins you titles, the thing is, if defense won you titles, we'd have won it already. So, but if Liverpool's attack doesn't click, there's no reason we shouldn't. There's no reason we shouldn't. Haters TV had an interview where Martinelli was asked a leading question about fighting for his squad place and trying to push a negative narrative. Yeah, but I don't think that's unreasonable. If this is the real league gunner, I really don't know if it is. Let's go on a call tomorrow. Rory talks bollocks. Like, there's got to be a bit of, you know, I'm not going to give my time to someone that's then going to insult me. Like, if you said that to me face to face, I wouldn't then go and have a conversation with you. It's I'm more than happy to chat with people, but he isn't. There you go. Why are people pretending to be people on YouTube? Yesterday we had Seb. Well, there you go. The thing is, I don't want to ban that account because if I ban that account from the channel now, and it is him, he'll then run a thing about how I've banned him. But I don't know. I think he would have a check if he was. Yeah, but I can't see it on my. I haven't got the YouTube back end here, so I can't see check marks. Anyway, whatever. It is what it is. In your opinion, the best starting lineup? I was thinking about this. I genuinely think we're close to a point where I don't fully know the best starting lineup, which normally we always know the best starting lineup. Obviously, Raya. I think Timber right now is definitely the best right back. It's unfair on Ben White because he's not had the game time. Like, in the last year, he's not had the game time. But he did look half a yard off it last night, and then Timber comes on is really solid. Saliba, Gabriel still. Left back's a really interesting one. It's a YouTube channel made just today. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, left back's a really interesting one because Calafiori and Miles Lewis-Skelly, they offer such different things. They offer such different qualities. The way that Calafiori gallivants down the left-hand side, provides the overlapping runs, I think is really important. And it allows whoever's on the left, whether it's Eze or Trossard or whoever, to drift a lot more. But then you see the positions that Miles Lewis-Skelly was picking up yesterday, moving into midfield, that ball that he plays into Martinelli really early on. I think that's a really difficult one to call. And I guess it depends on who the opposition are. Midfield, I genuinely do think you're looking at Zubimendi, Rice, Ødegaard, especially if Ødegaard continues the form that he's in. And then in the front three, you're going Saka, you're going Victor Gyökeres, and then I would say Eze right now, ahead of Trossard or Martinelli. So, yeah, I think probably 10 of those 11 spots, I'm pretty comfortable saying that I would choose them. And then it's just left back that I'm... Thing is, Calafiori won our Player of the Month in August. So it's difficult. But what a problem to have. And that's none of that's factoring in the fact that you've got Eze out injured, you've got Hincapié out injured, you've got Havertz out injured. I mean, Jesus. What if Jesus comes back? And I don't think he will. And as like sad as that is, it's genuinely sad. I don't think Jesus will be able to reach the level that he was at. I mean, we always go back to 22, 23, before the World Cup Jesus. I think the injuries he's had to his knees since then, for someone who relies on that sort of mobility through his knees so much, like, I can't see him coming back. But even the level that he was at before he got his ACL, you think back to the game against Crystal Palace, this was it the start of this year or the end of December, start of January? He was beginning to look good again. So, yeah, no, Eze isn't out injured. If I said Eze's out injured, I didn't mean that. I meant someone else. But, yeah. And then it's mad. Yesterday, I mean, we're talking about depth now, so we'll talk about it. But I do just think yesterday, right, I was meant to say someone else instead of Eze. Madueke, Havertz, Hincapié, Jesus. That was what I was meant to say. But, yeah, you look at yesterday, right? The starting lineup. Do you know what? I was with a friend at the game, and before the game, and he got a notification from OneFootball when the starting lineups came out. And OneFootball said Arsenal had gone with a strong starting lineup. And then you look at the starting lineup, and it's like, okay, we've actually made like 5 changes here, right? But that is still a strong lineup. That still prompts a notification from OneFootball saying Arsenal have gone with a strong lineup. A lineup that was good enough to win a Champions League game, which cannot be sniffed at. And by the way, I thought Olympiacos were decent last night. They didn't stop running. They were relentlessly running. They weren't a bad team. You got a team that's good enough to beat them. And really, we should have beaten them by more. You look at some of those missed chances. The Martinelli missed chance. Trossard missed 2 or 3. Ødegaard. Gyökeres could have scored another 2 on top of the one that Martinelli scored. Like, there were enough chances. And I just think you've got that. And then you're 1-0 up. And we go, okay, probably need to tighten it up a bit here because we're conceding a couple of chances in the box. Something could happen. You bring on Jurriën Timber and Declan Rice. That is insane. 2 players that walk into basically every Premier League team currently. Another 15 minutes go by. And then it's like, okay, we need a second goal just to put this game to bed. Let's bring on some attacking reinforcements. Saka and Eze. Again, 2 players that walk into pretty much any Premier League side. And then Gabriel goes down, could stay on, and you're like, no, you don't need to. We'll bring on Mosquera. It's insane depth. It is insane depth. Their left wing was so good. Ex-Wolves player. Yeah, Podence was good. They had Gelson Martins, who's just a tricky winger. Skinned Ben White a couple of times. I thought their left back I thought was good. What was his name? Like Ortega or something? I thought he was good. There you go. He's gone. I'd say Arsenal have the best opportunity to win this year, and there's no excuse of not winning a trophy this year. Plus, in a scenario they don't win anything, then what conversation needs to be had? Yeah, I think I do think we're at the point genuinely where it would be very difficult to justify not winning a trophy this year, unless something insane happens where even with the depth that we've got, you somehow lose a bunch of players in one position. Outside of that, I'm just like, we definitely have starting. We probably have 15 to 16 players that are like absolute nailed on quality enough to win trophies. You've then got better depth, in my opinion, than pretty much any other team. So yeah, I think I do. I think we should absolutely be running deep in every tournament, and we should win a trophy. Truthfully. John, thank you very, very much for the £2 super chat. Thoughts on Saka playing left? Think him and Noni Cook. Yeah, I really like it. I really like it. That was one of my my next talking points after the depth point is the fluidity. You know, we've not seen it much. We've not seen it much, but this wasn't just in the last game, by the way. If you've been paying attention, players have been given more freedom, positional freedom. You look at when Martinelli comes on against Bilbao, makes a central run to score the goal. Martinelli comes on against City, off the right, makes a central run. Trossard has been given way more freedom to move centrally. It's been good. And then you've got, like you said, having Eze one side, Saka the other yesterday, it just opens up a different dynamic. The through ball from Ødegaard, Saka can let it run past him onto his left and then smack it rather than presumably having to cut back onto his right. It's very difficult if you're a defender to keep on top of that. If you're told to man-mark Ødegaard through a game and he is all over the place, if you're man-marking him and you've been told to sit on him the whole game, well, if Ødegaard moves over to the left, suddenly there's a space on the right. Suddenly that's one extra player that would normally be on Saka out of the way. Like, it's good. I enjoy it. Saka the GOAT, thank you very, very much for the 199. Just says, Rory, you look cute in that pink shirt. Well, thank you. It's I like this shirt. It's the Inter Miami thing. I quite like it. But thank you very much for the 199. I appreciate that. Don't forget our buddies in Stockley Park. I don't even want to talk about them. I honestly don't want to talk. By the way, I've seen, Keith Hackett, former PGMOL boss, hates Howard Webb and is absolutely grilling him on social media. And then I saw today as well, Mark Clattenburg came out. I think he did a thing with the Daily Mail. It was like Mail Sport or whatever it was. And again, he was like, yeah, basically just hates Howard Webb and thinks Howard Webb is just like all about his own success. So that was enjoyable to watch, to be honest with you. Man marking isn't a thing anymore. It definitely is still a thing. Of course, man marking's okay, no, yeah, you're saying you can't man mark one of our players because they'll just drift all over the pitch. Yeah, that's the point. I think that's what you're saying anyway. I missed the game, but I thought Norgard could have started. Is he injured again? No, he was an unused sub, Jake. He was on the bench. He was an unused sub. Zubimendi. It was Zubimendi and Marino in midfield to start with. Excuse me. And then Rice came on for Marino. I would say Zubimendi has done a lot of work. Zubimendi's played a lot of minutes so far this season. So he's, perhaps due a break. Maybe Norgard plays against West Ham. Maybe. Saka, though, our best left winger? Probably. It's him or... But that's the thing, because, I'd rather... the problem is, right, he's our best right winger, so you want him on the right, but give him that freedom to drift across. If you had Madueke on the right, for example, you'd rather have Saka on the left than anyone else. I'm excited to see Madueke and Saka used as a pair. I'm excited to see Saka and Eze used as a pair, kind of as they were yesterday. Yeah, I just think we've got options because you can do Saka, Madueke, and then have Eze in midfield or Ødegaard in midfield. There's just a lot. There's just a lot going on. And by the way, that makes it very, very difficult to plan a game against Arsenal. If you're West Ham this week, genuinely, you have no idea what the lineup's going to be at the weekend. You don't know if it's going to be Calafiori or if it's going to be Miles Lewis-Skelly. You don't know if it's going to be Ødegaard or Eze. You don't know if it's going to be Eze or Trossard, Eze or Martinelli. Once you got Madueke back, is it going to be Saka or Madueke? Havertz is back, is it Havertz or Gyökeres? It's going to be very good. Saka not taking corners is noticeable. How many did he not take? Because I did notice that. I did notice Ødegaard went over and took one of the corners. But I didn't know if that was because Ødegaard assisted the corner, assisted Gabriel's goal, right? at the weekend from the corner. So I didn't know if they're querying whether or not Ødegaard can do it as well. I saw Ødegaard take one once Saka had come on. Yeah, don't know if that's a thing. I mean, Saka's corners have been excellent, so yeah, I don't know. Will Saka surpass Henry someday? He probably will. If he stays at the club for long enough, Saka will surpass Henry in terms of numbers. If we have a more successful era, which if we won the Champions League would be a massive, massive thing for this group of players that obviously, the Invincibles didn't have, combined with the fact that he's a HLM boy, yeah, I think he would. He might not have Saka might never have the aura's a terrible word. I don't even want to use the word aura. People look at Henry, non-Arsenal fans look at Henry and still largely agree that Henry is the best Premier League player there's ever been, right? Saka won't get that. He won't. Unless his career kicks on to just another level completely. But I don't think any player will ever have that. I don't think any player will ever have the nostalgia that Thierry Henry has in terms of what he did at that point in time where the Premier League suddenly became this global thing. I don't think any player will have that again. But yeah, in terms of the context of Arsenal, yeah, I think Saka will. Henry has the streets, yeah. He changed the Premier League. Yeah, exactly. And now I just think there's too much you just see the nonsense. There's so much effort goes into tearing every top player down. You see the way that people talk about Mo Salah, despite the fact that he's arguably been the best player of a generation in the Premier League. You see the way people tore down Kevin De Bruyne. They still put him below Gerrard's and Lampard's. I just don't think in the social media age anyone will get that universal wow. And you see it as well when players don't play in the Premier League. Then if they suddenly join the Premier League, they get that sort of thing, right? So Erling Haaland had it. There was no doubt when he was at Dortmund, there was no doubt everyone was just mesmerized by Erling Haaland. He comes to the Premier League, everyone's questioning him, even when he puts up the most obscene numbers. You've seen it with Victor Gyökeres, right? The way he gets spoken about now compared to last year is insane. I just think it will always be the case. Florian Wirtz, another example. If we had no injuries, what would be your starting 11 against West Ham? I mean, it's difficult. I mean, do you mean no injuries at all or no new injuries? Because if we've got no new injuries and Gabriel is fit, I'd just go full strength. I'd go Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, probably Calafiori again, just because Miles played 90 minutes last night and Calafiori's completely fresh. Zubimendi, Rice, Ødegaard, Saka, Eze, Gyökeres. That would be mine. West Ham, by the way, are not going to be as easy. I do still think, by the way, another reason that if he is actually fit enough to play, I probably would play Gabriel. West Ham's biggest weakness by a long, long way this season has been set pieces. They have conceded an obscene number of set piece goals. You want Gabriel on the pitch for those opportunities. I don't think it'll be an easy game. I think they looked improved on Monday night against Everton. I thought the left-hand side for them, Malik Diouf, I think is a real threat. And Somerville looked good as well. Obviously, they've got Jarrett Bowen, who is a quality player that bails them out time and time again. So, yeah, I think it won't be an easy game, but we should beat them. I need a Saliba goal. Yeah, a Saliba celebration always goes down a treat. I think the whip and power on the hammies might be cause for concern with Saka. Maybe. I didn't think about it that way. Possibly. Any update on Kai? No, I think the expectation is still that he'll be back after the November international break. I think they probably want him to be fit enough before the international break that they can maybe put on a couple of friendlies behind closed doors during the international break. Excuse me. Because him and Madueke are going to be coming back at basically the same time, I think. But yeah, like we've said, the crunch time, not the crunch time necessarily, but the 3 games immediately after the international break against Chelsea, Bayern, and Spurs. Obviously, that's you want your best players for that. Devin, thank you very, very much for being a member for 18 months. I'm so excited to see Hincapié play his first game. Our defensive requirement has been incredible. I think, do you mean recruitment? Maybe. I think you mean recruitment. But you're right. And me too. And I feel bad for Hincapié, really, because games like last night are ones where he would have got minutes for sure. Obviously he's got this injury. I don't think people realized he had surgery in the summer. So people look back at his injury record. I've seen this. People looking back at his injury record and going, well, he didn't miss a game through injury for 2 years. And then as soon as he joins Arsenal, he's injured. He had surgery on a pre-existing injury that he basically played through in the summer. So yeah, I think, and apparently he's then twinged the same thing again. So, and again, with Hincapié, could he be in the squad right now if we really needed him? Maybe. But don't bring him back yet when we don't need him. Let him have the international break off as well. Happy days. Who do you think is better, our second team right now or our team in 21-22? Second team right now. Our second team right now beats 21-22 Arsenal. Definitely. So excited for the Bayern game at the Emirates. They look like the best team in the world, but haven't played anyone as good as us. Yeah, it'll be a really interesting game. I'm really looking forward to the Atletico Madrid game because I think that's a different type of test. So I'm looking forward to that game. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the Bayern game as well. Who else have we got? We've got Slavia Prague away, which comes after the Atletico Madrid game. So Rice and Zubamendi are both 1 booking away from being suspended. And that doesn't refresh, or that doesn't reset until the semi-finals, which, if you remember, Partey gets a booking in the second leg of the quarter-final last year, which was his third booking, meant he missed the first leg of the semis. So I genuinely do think you're looking at games where you're like, okay, Zubi and Rice. I don't think you want them both to get booked against Atletico. The game after that is Slavia Prague. You maybe want one of them for that game, I think. And you've got Kairat Almaty right at the end, but I don't know if either of them can actually get to that point without another booking. I mean, I thought some of the bookings last night were once again very soft. The ref for most of the game just was refusing to pull out a yellow card. And then, yeah, Zubi. Gabriel got one for time wasting, which was nonsense. And these bookings are annoying because of the suspensions, but it is what it is. I do laugh that people bring up his injury history but overlook his surgery in the summer. Yeah, it's madness. It is. I'm going to sneeze. Bless me. Could you see Odegaard in the 8 instead of the 10 in the future with Eze or Waneri in the 10 and Rice or Zubi in the 6? Yeah, I think it's possible. I don't think you could do it with Zubamendi. I don't think you could do a midfield of Zubamendi, Odegaard, Eze. I think Zubamendi's, to be honest, only real flaw is just the lack of ground that he covers, right? And that is just a Tory sneeze. Oh, sorry for having a Tory sneeze. Yeah, the only thing that Zubamendi doesn't have is the ability to just cover ground at a rate of knots, which Declan Rice has. And I worry if you have Eze, Odegaard, and Zubamendi, you just don't cover enough of it in the way that Declan Rice does. I could see Rice, Odegaard, Eze. I could see that working. But honestly, I like the idea of having Zubamendi, Rice, Eze, Odegaard, Saka, Gyökeres. I like it. People are talking about Gyökeres like he didn't spend a long time out and he was visibly unfit, and now he's clearly getting better in fitness and getting used to the physicality of the Prem. 100%. And the goals will come. The goals will absolutely come. I've no doubt about it. What did you think of the foul that got the pen? That Osimhen versus Liverpool? I think it's extremely soft, but I'll take it anyway. Liverpool lose. Yeah, I thought it was soft. Do you mean the flailing arm? from Szoboszlai. I thought it was soft. I did think it was soft. It's one of them. In the Premier League, the way PGMOL are with Liverpool, genuinely, the penalty that Galatasaray got gets overturned, and the penalty that Liverpool got doesn't get overturned. Play with no defenders, because why not? No, we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. Nid is fuming about the number of likes, by the way. Abysmal amount of likes. 304 people here and only 80 likes. At least get us to 100 likes. If you've not clicked the like button and you're one of the 300 people in here, please do. Please do click the like button. It helps. It does help. Norgard, Erdegaard, Eze. Norgard can cover ground. Yeah, that would be fine. That would be fine. Although, like, it would be fine. I wouldn't set us up like that unless it was a relatively easy game. Like Kairat Almaty, Norgard, Erdegaard, Eze, no problem. I don't get how UEFA expect players to get 3 yellow cards from 8 league games, 2 playoff games, last 16 and quarterfinal games, which is 14 games in total, or 12 if you don't get playoffs. It's insane. It's insane. 3, you can play if you play in the knockout, if you finish 9th to 24th and play in that knockout round, it's 14 games before your yellow cards get wiped. Getting 3 yellow cards is not bad in 14 games at all. At all. If you consider the Premier League, it's 5 within the first 18 games, let alone 3 within 14. I wanted to play Barca, but now we have to play Inter and Bayern again. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. The one game we got that I just don't like is Inter away. Like Inter away, we've done it already. It will be a boring game. It's just like I'd rather go to Barca or PSG. At least it will be an entertaining game. I think the Inter game will be boring, especially because it wouldn't surprise me, depending on how Inter do. I think Inter have won their opening 2 games anyway. Our game against Inter is the second to last, the penultimate game of the league phase. It wouldn't surprise me if both of us are probably just happy with a draw in that game anyway. So it really could be the sort of game where it's like you're both happy with the draw. Yeah, not fun. And annoyingly, it sounds like that's going to be the last time we ever play at the San Siro, which is sad. Unless we get one of them in the knockout stages. Arsenal are now favourites to win the Premier League, in my opinion. Possibly. I think it's tight. It depends if Liverpool can turn it around. I wouldn't completely rule out Man City, although I just don't think defensively they've got enough. But yeah. Just play a second fiddle team. We probably will. It's in the middle of Premier League games. I'll be going to the Inter game as it'll be the last game I watch at San Siro before demolished. Yeah, part of me wants to go because I've never been to the San Siro. I've never been, so part of me does want to go. I'd have to try and get a home ticket. I probably will before we play Inter. To be fair, I'll probably get them on. Opta analysts have us as clear faves to win the UCL. Thoughts? I don't know how we can be clear favourites to win the Champions League. Don't get me wrong, I'll take it. It's a compliment, right? But I don't understand how. If you PSG without half of their best players last night beat Barcelona. They beat us last year. But, Barcelona themselves, quality team. Bayern look excellent. I don't know how we could be clear favourites. Home ticket, as if them 1-minute videos haven't made you minted. Trust me, they haven't. But also, money wouldn't be the barrier. It would be it's impossible to get an away ticket at Arsenal unless you're a regular away. If you haven't got away credits, it's really difficult to get an away ticket. And to get away credits, you have to go to away games, but you can't go to them because you can't get away tickets. And there's no way that game will go down to 0 points. So, Tyrell, I appreciate that. Saw your post about squad depth. We have always had depth, but now we have quality and depth. Well, I mean, yeah. But if your depth isn't quality, it's not really depth. It's just bodies. Obviously we've already had we've always had players. Everyone has players. When's the next Twitch stream? I don't know. Maybe tonight. I don't know actually. Maybe not. Thoughts on Lee Gunner praising Erdegaard? I've not seen it, but good on him. I would say. Anyway, look, that is going to be the end of the stream. Apart from the quiz question. If you enjoy the quiz question, make sure you stay around for that. But for those of you that don't, I appreciate you for watching. If you could like and subscribe before you jump off, if you've not done so already, I would be grateful. We'll be back tomorrow with a proper preview for the West Ham game. By that point, we should have had Arteta's press conference and stuff like that, so we'll talk through that. But other than that, enjoy the rest of your evening. Some Europa League, Conference League football to be enjoyed tonight. And I'll catch you on the next one. For those of you that are staying for the quiz, however, get your fingers on your keyboards because we are starting now. How many points did Arsenal get in the 22-23 Premier League season? How many points did Arsenal get in the 22-23 Premier League season? Everyone knows roughly what it was, but who got it first? There we go. We've got a winner, and the winner is Sergeant Soup. Sergeant Soup is the winner. It was 84 points. S came second. VV Vlad came third. Tom McFadden came fourth. And Lee came fifth. So there you go. It was 84 points. Nowhere near enough, according to Spurs Talk Show. Yeah, you are correct, Spurs Talk Show. How many points did you get that season? Not 84. But there you go. Congratulations. I tried to forget that season. Lots of memorable moments from that season, though. Internet delay killing me. You hate to see it. But there you go. Congratulations to Sergeant Soup. That is going to be the end of the stream. Thank you very much for watching. All of that stuff that I said to the other people before applies to you. Enjoy the rest of your evenings, and I will catch you all on the next one. Until then, goodbye.